What's up guys, Woody here for Team Rankstar with a brand new video series that we're going to be running for you, which is effectively a meta snapshot for Mythgard. Now this is not going to be a weekly video, this is going to be a monthly video because we want to really collate the data for you. And that's what I kind of want to get into before we really dive into the stats that you can see on the screen right now. So this meta snapshots are something you see in any card game, and if someone here is brand spanking new to a card game, they're thinking, what on earth is a meta snapshot? Woody's here to keep you up to date. So meta snapshot is effectively a snapshot of the meta, hence where the name comes from. So what most people do, or what most places do, or publications do, or outlets do, is they will publish a tiered list of like tier 1 decks, tier 2 decks, tier 3 decks. We aren't actually taking that approach, and we hope you forgive us for that, or not forgive us, we hope you don't mind that. What we are doing instead is we're gone on popularity, because Mythgard is still very much finding its feet in terms of meta, and the meta is always shifting. And where I think a lot of people thought the main meta was sitting this season is actually going to not be necessarily the case. So this is a meta snapshot done on popularity, and that's how we're always going to do it for Mythgard, especially at Team Rankstar. And so what's happened is we've had 6 amazing people playing over 400 games, 415 games in total in this first week of the season. So all games that were played for this data were played between the 2nd and the 9th of January. So that's where this data's come from. Over 400 games, 6 people. So before we get anywhere, we need to give a big shout out to Wholesome. We need to give a big shout out to Eribert, One Eric, or Uneric, I believe it's called. Oneric? Sorry, dude. Semper, Tunestar, and Noah. So I'm just purely here being the face of the video. That's all I'm doing. I'm knocking the video together. Those guys are the ones that put blood, sweat, and tears in to get this data collated and get this data for you guys. And I'm going to take you through it on a lovely, sexy merry-go-round, because that's what I'm here to do. I love sexy merry-go-rounds. Who doesn't love sexy merry-go-rounds? But anyway, that's a video for another time. So we have, the way this data works is the data you're seeing right now is the meta snapshot based on popularity. And then we have a breakdown of aggro, we have a breakdown of control, a breakdown of reanimator, and a breakdown of mid-range, kind of really diving in so you can really chew the fat on that kind of stuff. Even better for you guys, we've got a giveaway at the end of this video. So enough of the fluffy talkness to get you into it. Let's jump into the stats of this video. So I want to kick straight into the fact that we have this, let me get my little lovely highlighting pen for you guys here. So I want to jump straight into the big thing here. So don't make the mistake I made when I saw this number here, and then I saw yellow-orange control, and I was like, what? Yellow-orange control was more played than red-orange mid-range? That's not the case. This 30.2% are other decks. Decks that don't feature on this color combination or archetype. So I think we can fairly, like, straight off the bat, we can say, my God, the meta at the moment is very diverse. Now, yes, there is no denying that red-orange mid-range, which is probably not a surprise to many people, is the most played deck. 15.7% of people out of 400 games, over 400 games, played red-orange mid-range, or matches were against red-orange mid-range. That's compared to all reanimated decks, okay? Now, what's really interesting here, I find, is we go down one more. Effectively the second most played deck, because these are all reanimated decks, is mono blue aggro. And now to be more specific, that's Valk's aggro. That's the mono blue Valk's aggro deck that's been making its rounds recently. I found that very interesting, especially the fact that 6.8% it's higher than the 5.3% of green yellow control, and then the 4.6% of yellow orange control. Both of these decks here are decks we've seen in the Winter Wonder Brawl, and we saw in even the Mythlander finals, represented by Garen and represented by Krultek. They're very strong decks, but it appears to be the mono blue aggro deck, the Valks deck, is even more popular. But again, no surprise, the red-orange mid-range deck is currently proving to be the most popular one in terms of single decks. Now, talking about the aggro deck, let's jump in across to the aggro stats. So these are the aggro stats for you people, okay? The aggro stats here. Now, 30% of all aggro decks that were played on ladder were that of the Valkyrie archetype, the mono blue Valkyrie archetype. That's what we mean by the blue one there, okay? The second most popular, blue-red aggro, it's still making its rounds. It's a very, very strong archetype. The blue kind of adding almost a little bit more mid-game substance to the red that offers the real early game presence. And then red orange aggro. I'm surprised that red orange aggro is almost half played compared to the mono blue Valks aggro, which is, in my opinion, I find it a lot more. I find that very interesting. I felt like I played quite a lot of games against red orange aggro. Now, for those who are wondering, what's the difference between red orange aggro and red orange mid range? The red orange mid range decks tend to be your Heaven and Hell decks. The ones that run in your to Heaven and Back, the ones that run in your Stairway to Hades. Those decks to kind of get that mid to late game presence off those extremely strong enchantments. And they also have, sometimes they have your big, like Cerberus, your bigger minions in the deck, shall we say, or your more expensive minions, where the red orange aggro is a lot more of your low cost minions to kind of, well, be aggressive, hence the name of the deck. So this is how it shaped up as an aggro as an aggro archetype, shall we say. Others over here, and some of the making up some of the lesser ones. Red purple aggro is up there, and red orange green splash aggro, which is an interesting deck that I've played around with a little bit. But if I'm being honest, I've never had much success with it. But anyway, moving back to this. So we saw how aggro looked in that, making up again the mono blue down here. And if you go down this list looking at the aggro, we've got the mono blue aggro was the second most popular single deck, and then blue red aggro was the 5th most popular single deck, because remember, this is all of Reanimator. And then we've got the red orange being the 6th most single played deck. Now, moving on to some lovely control, because let's be honest, who doesn't love a little bit of control? And Mythgard offers a lot of control. Look at this, guys, neck and neck between green, yellow, and yellow orange. Now, there's no doubt going into this meta snapshot that I would have said they are probably the two strongest control combinations. Green does offer some control elements in there, and I was surprised that I find there's a very good, at the moment, red-green control deck making the rounds, and I was really surprised that even that deck falls into the others, which is the 10% of other made-up decks. But as I said before, we saw green-yellow is the go-to combination for Crueltech, who's a very competitive Mythgard player, has made the top 8 in every single one of 983's tournaments, and has made the final in 2 of the tournaments. And then yellow-orange is the go-to colour combination for Garen, who, without doubt, is the best player in the game at the moment when it comes to tournament play. They've won the most tournaments. They're very, very present on the tournament or the tournament side of things and on ladder. And the yellow-orange is definitely their go-to deck. And then yellow-purple, which some people say purple isn't that strong, and I've got some thoughts on purple later in this video, but yellow-purple making up the 3rd place there. 14% of all control decks played were made up with some purple in there. The yellow-purple deck being a modest popular choice, shall we say. Now, going back to the stats we looked at a minute ago, just clarify what it means there. We knew that the 2 control decks sitting neck and neck with each other, making up the 3rd and 4th most popular deck on this first week of ladder. Now, moving on to some lovely aggro. Wow, sorry, Reanimator. We really looked at aggro. Reanimator, green-blue Reanimator is proving more popular than the green-purple Reanimator, which I don't know if I'm surprised by, to be honest. But green-purple is always the colour. I don't know if it's where I played Mythgard so early, like soon, like in closed beta. Green-purple is always the go-to colour combination for Reanimator. But obviously blue has had some nice little buffs to some cards recently. Stuff like Drago, that is a card now that isn't necessarily that great playing it on curve. It's not a bad card, but being able to get that card out potentially on turn 3 or turn 4 in a Reanimator deck, all of a sudden makes that card go from being okay to good to being very good on turn 4 because of a Reanimator. So maybe that's part of the reason some of these changes we had to the blue cards, buffing up this to nearly half of all Reanimated decks played were green-blue, which personally I'm kind of surprised by. And then purple doesn't even make it into the 2nd most played Reanimated deck. We've got green-red. And you're probably thinking, what red cards do I want to reanimate? Well, there's a selection of them, isn't there? You could go down the vampire route and have like Lord Valentine. Cerberus is a big card to bring out because it's all of a sudden you're just doing 9 damage to the face. So there are definite options there with the red cards coming out as well. And yeah, so green, red, green, blue proving more popular than the green, purple Reanimator, which is, again, something I find very, very interesting. So, taking us back again to our overall snapshot, we see Reanimator in general not that popular. So, obviously, it's sat here in second place on this list, but that is all Reanimator decks combined. If we actually break that down, then Reanimator, the actual Reanimator deck will be way down here somewhere as a standalone deck, which is a bit of a shame. I like seeing a Reanimator on ladder. I don't necessarily like playing against it because it can be infuriating sometimes, but having a diverse meta is, not that this isn't diverse meta, but having a diverse meta with Reanimator being popular in there, it's huge. And maybe that's where purple is starting to lap. But again, I'll get onto that soon, people. Don't worry. God, I'm good at teasing you guys, aren't I? Okay. Now, finishing up with red, orange, mid-range. Look at this. Look at this. This is a sea of blue, people. Red, orange, mid-range was 60% of the mid-range decks played in the first week of this season. 60%. That is absolutely bonkers. That's nuts. That's huge, huge amounts of stats there. Now, people who watch my streams, people who come by and see my videos, will know that I'm very much a mid-range player. I like building mid-range decks, probably because I'm very indecisive and I don't want to build into one set archetype, but I like mid-range decks. There's no denying, especially those enchantments. It's not just the enchantments, but red, orange just has good card draw, has good sustainability, it has even good life gain, has good spot removal. It's just nuts. It's a very, very strong deck. Orange, purple. So purple, the most underplayed colour at the moment, is making the way into second place. But if we look at that, 5% compared to 60%. That is absolutely bonkers. This is absolutely nuts. That only 5% of people play the orange, purple. And if we actually look at these stats down here, these are all very close. I mean, it's actually a tie between blue, orange, mid-range and orange, purple, mid-range. And blue and purple are probably some of the most underplayed colours at the moment. So there's no surprise there that the mid-range deck, the go-to mid-range deck, is the red, orange, mid-range. And that takes us back to this lovely screen to wrap things up. So, like I said, guys, this is based on popularity. The stats here made up by the 6 wonderful people who worked their absolute bums off to get all this data collated and put together, have shown us. Now, it's easy to sit there and go, yeah, red, orange, mid-range being the most played deck. Surprise, surprise. But actually, if we go down and go, well, yeah, 15%, but 30%, double of the amount of red, orange, mid-range decks that they saw on ladder were stuff that didn't even make the list. Were just made up stuff that we didn't have a set archetype for, or colour combinations we don't see that often. Showing that actually ladder's very versatile at the moment. The meta is very open. This is an insanely open pie chart. Again, this looks like it's taking up loads, but remember, this is made up by tons of little colours, all making up their own individual little decks. So yes, it's no surprise that red, orange is the most popular played deck. We didn't necessarily have to do a meta snapshot to tell you that. It definitely feels like that. So I'm playing ladder themselves at the moment, I feel like I'm seeing that more than other decks, but I'm only seeing it twice over or double the amount of times, and I'm seeing potentially, say, mono blue aggro, and that was really surprising to me. How diverse this stats have shown that actually Mythgard's meta is. Now, if we actually go down this list in the actual ranked order, we don't see any purple until we get to the yellow-purple control, and we know the yellow-purple control was substantially less than the yellow-orange and the green-yellow control. So that is a concern that purple doesn't feature until further down. Every other colour, red, orange is up here, blue's up here, green, yellow's up here, but purple doesn't feature until it's way down here. And that is a concern, but we do know there's a patch coming soon, which hopefully, well, we know it's focusing on purple, we know it's buffing purple, and hopefully that will bring these numbers for the next video, for next month, back up around here, and maybe in the top 5. If we can get all colours in the top 5 decks played on ladder, then that's almost, I want to say balancing at its finest, but it's definitely a very nice position for Mythgard's meta to be in. Also, notice that the lack of tricolour decks in the top especially with the top decks played on ladder at the moment. Okay, and last thing I want to point out is a deck that I thought would be a lot higher up there, and that's Angel Loop. Now, those who don't know what Angel Loop is, it is a tricolour deck, and you effectively can play Armageddon Angel not an infinite amount of times, but you can just kind of keep looping the Armageddon Angel around, and it can get very, very strong. Now, the reason before this meta come out, I would have said, Angel Loop would probably be in the top 5 decks. I feel like I've seen it quite a lot on ladder. It isn't. It's way down here, represented down here. The reason I think so is this is honestly, I'm going to say it right now, Angel Loop is probably the most complex deck to play in Mythgard right now. It is so pilot orientated. You need to make sure you're controlling absolutely everything, absolutely on point with that deck to make sure you're getting the full use out of the deck. One misplay with that deck and you can completely fall flat on your face. So maybe that's why we're not seeing as much of it, and I'm genuinely surprised that we're not seeing as much of it. But anyway, that's it, guys. That is our Team Rankstar Mythgard meta snapshot for January. We'll be back in February with another one, but don't go anywhere, people, because giveaway time. Oh my god. What do we love more than a giveaway? Well, playing Mythgard, of course. But anyway, we can't play Mythgard right now because you're watching a video and I'm recording a video. We are going to do a giveaway, a lovely giveaway, courtesy of Team Rankstar and courtesy of Noah, for 20 packs. This code will get you 20 packs of Mythgard goodness. I mean, that's almost guaranteed at least one mythic. At least one mythic. Maybe two. Depending on how good your pulls are. But anyway, if you want your hands on that 20-pack code guides, we're pulling the name in 1 week's time. We'll be contacting a person through YouTube, unless we know you by other means. I'll contact you through Twitter, whatever. But 1 week today, we're going to be pulling the name out. So you're watching the video in the first week. Get commenting down below. What I want to hear is your favourite deck on ladder. All you got to do, you can be as simple as possible going RO mid-range. That's fine. You're entered. Or you can go, do you know what, Woody? I'm having a wonderful cup of tea right now, my friend. And I'm really enjoying playing some green-blue reanimator on ladder at the moment. And you can tell me about your day, how your dog walk was, how your shopping trip was. I don't care. I'm going to read it and I'm going to like it and I'm going to love it. And as a bonus, you get entered to the draw. Simple as that, you lovely people. Anyway, that is going to wrap it up, guys. A big thank you again to our 6 wonderful heroes for going through and getting over 400 games played between them in 1 week to get this data collated. And a big thank you to you guys for stopping by the video and watching the video. If you like the video, then make sure you give it a little like. You want to keep up to date with more meta snapshots brought to you by Team Rankstar from the game of Mythgard and other games, then make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. And even better, I should have said this earlier. Shoot Woody. All decks, not all decks, most decks. So a lot of these top decks here that feature in these stats are linked in the description below. So head over to the Team Rankstar website, head down below. You can go literally rip these decks off Mythgard Hub, take them onto ladder yourself, tweak them around if you haven't got the cards for them, play them, climb ladder, get happy, enter the card draw, pack yourself some mythics. What a wonderful week to play some Mythgard. Anyway, guys, that is it. Until next time, have a great day, morning, evening, whatever it is, where you are. And until then, goodbye.